today, I mean, from you and I's standpoint, I mean, it's just really focused on, we were talking about feedback.
Yep.
Right. Now, I said
Absolutely.
earlier, I was driving in, I could remember being in that IT leader seat going, I need feedback. I'm so busy. I don't know who I should get feedback from. I get a counterpart that gives me good feedback.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of nervous to get feedback from 2 levels up, especially a CIO.
Yep.
So what's the best way for me to, for an IT leader to start that feedback journey from your standpoint?
Golly, yeah, that's a good one, because when you think about it, yeah, we would talk about feedback stings.
It
right?
does sting.
Oh my God, it stings, right? It
stings
can,
bad.
right? It can be really good,
Yeah.
and it can also sting really bad
Oh, yeah, it
sometimes,
does.
especially if you're not prepared for it. So I think from my perspective, there's no right or wrong way to get into it. You just got to get into it,
Yes,
right?
okay.
And so, and I always say, you start with the people you know. Start with the people who you know, who care about you and have an interest in seeing you grow.
Yeah.
And generally, we know who those people are, and we believe they would give us positive feedback, and they'd give us honest feedback, not just positive, but honest feedback. Start with those people, get comfortable with that, because if you're not comfortable with feedback, there's no way you take it up a notch if you're not comfortable with it. So you have to begin somewhere. And I always say, start with the people you know.
Okay.
Get comfortable with that,
Yeah.
and then take that up a notch.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you start with people you know, but there's a reality. It stings. What's the worst feedback that you've gotten in your career there when you started out?
So, for me, probably worst feedback, but also most impactful feedback for me, right? So I don't know if it was definitely impactful. So I share the story about being at an executive retreat.
Okay.
And the moderator asks, okay, who wants to go first? And I go, yep, take me, I'll go first. And I ask for feedback from my peers.
Yeah.
And they're providing me their feedback, and I'm steady going, got it. And each time the person would say something, I'd go, got it. And at one point, the moderator goes, okay, Onyeka, you do know what got it means, right? When you say got it, you know what you're saying, right? And I go, yeah, I'm saying that I heard him.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, not really. What you're really saying is, stop talking so we can move on. Right? And I'll be, so I've said it before,
Yeah.
I had to check myself in that moment.
Yeah.
Because he was right. I was at a place of, yeah, I know I asked you for feedback and I heard you, but you can move on to the next thing whenever you're ready.
Right.
And so that was my got it. And so it hurt, right?
Yeah.
Because then I paused and I go into this survival mode,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm hearing something that I don't want to hear, and I go into survival mode. And so I start asking my peers around, well, did you feel that way? Right? Did you experience me that way?
So defending yourself.
Yeah. How did you experience? Did you experience that as well?
Yeah.
Right. So your feedback is one of those things where if you don't create an environment and set a table that allows for people to give you feedback, everybody just kind of goes, well,
Yeah.
right? But no one says, well, yeah, that's how, because you haven't set a table for it. So
yeah.
That's probably my most impactful one.
Wow.
One, I realized it was true.
Yeah.
And two, I just had to ask myself, okay, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. So here's the moment. What are you going to do?
Wow. So you went to a place looking for feedback, had a moderator, had a bunch of peers,
Yep.
open to feedback, but when it came your turn, they said, hey, Onyeka, and you're like, wait, I don't want feedback.
Yeah,
but then your moderator helped you kind of work through that
Right.
feedback.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, you have more of a revelation
Right.
that you're not open to feedback.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where you can, you always hear you gotta seek feedback. You have to analyze the feedback and then decide to act on the feedback. So I will tell you, I actually walked away from that, having analyzed it. I was like, oh, you know what? I got to do better with that. So now I am more aware when I'm saying, got it. I'm very
it's like
much
a trigger
aware.
for you.
It's a
All of a
trigger.
sudden there's a trigger where it say, oh,
yeah.
I'm
And
not
so
listening.
I have to tell myself, okay, Onyeka, check down and listen.
Yeah.
And pay attention.
Oh, that's fantastic.